right, so moving on to our next topic, submission. Should women bow down? All right, so the key things that I have got here from Renee Wade, the founder of The Feminine Woman. She talks about the keys to submission: to open up, to trust, the ability to be uncertain, and surrendering. Submission is a big key thing in, women nowadays. You could submit to a man, like I go back to the Bible. You have anything about that to go reiterate on? Because I can take you to the Bible. When you're in a marriage, I expect my husband to follow God because I don't mind, being submissive and surrendering to Him if he is following the man of God.
Yeah. My thing is, it's okay for a woman to submit to a man because I believe that, if a woman gets married, she needs to marry the right type of man. The right kind of man.
Yes.
Because if you marry the wrong man, he's going to steer you in the wrong direction. You're going to go through a whole lot of things. But if you marry a man that's following after Christ and really submissive and knows where he's going, of course, it's okay because if he's submitting to God, and you're going to follow in that line, submitting to Him and God, and he's going to steer you in the right path. Not all men, not all men are, choose the wrong thing to do or don't know which direction to go, but it's good to find somebody that knows who God is and has a fear of God, because that right there will cause you to, cause your family to prosper.
Yes. So basically, men should be protectors and leaders of their families. And also some key points that she also talks about: men are naturally built stronger than women. Submission is a part of learning to become more feminine. You got some intakes on that?
We were kind of making a game plan, but I'm gonna let him take it.
Okay, right now.
we were planning. We had to do a quick huddle, so he's gonna take it.
Just looking at it from, I guess, my perspective, when it comes to a group, family, group of friends, classroom of any sort, there's gonna have to be that one person that's gonna have to lower their purpose or lower their, voice in order for everything to run smoothly. Because when you have two people with the same intensity for the same purpose, on one thing, that causes a lot of confusion, controversy, a lot of static tension. It's just not good for the group. So, and I but what you have to understand is, like, if it is a marriage, let's go to that point. If it is a marriage, that stresses out the marriage, and then the marriage becomes sour. You know what I mean? So at some point, somebody, and I can dare say this, please don't beat me up after I get out of here.
Well, hold that thought, because we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be discussing more on these topics. So stay tuned.
I didn't get to bed.
Welcome back to Talking in Translation. Now, let's talk about some gender stereotypes and whether they are true or false. I got a list here, one for the men's side, one for the women's side. Okay. All right, I'm gonna read them off. Tell me if they're true or false.
All right.
So for the men's side, we have playing sports, enjoy working on cars, play video games, are not nurses but doctors.
Awesome.
As husbands, tell their wives what to do.
Yeah, halfway.
Are always in charge. And for the women's side, we have are not as strong as men, do not need to go to college, are not to be outspoken, are to be visual pleasure for men at all times, are flirts, and last but not least, are supposed to be submissive. So we're going to start off with the ladies. For the ladies' side, what do you think about those?
Most definitely. The outspoken one, women need to have a strongness about them, because no man wants a weak woman. So that's what I have to say about that one.
And the outspoken one, I don't think a woman should always, in some point it's good to be outspoken, but in some points it's always good to be silent.
Yes.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, since we're on the topic of women, as a general man, I'm going to go ahead and say that when it comes to females, we do not like a woman that cannot take care of herself. We want somebody that, if something goes wrong on our side, they'll be able to pick up.
Okay.
So I really can't see a man being like, you don't need to go to college, because at this point, I think a vast majority of us know the benefits of college, higher salaries, better jobs, and that's what a man is wanting, because he doesn't want his kids to go hungry. You know, so he wants to make sure that he's with somebody that can actually pick up on that. So not going to college is a fail.
Okay. So you telling me if you see a nice woman, whatever, and she don't have the college education or she was never, taught, but you kind of find her attractive, but you don't know that she's not in college right now or, that kind of thing. Would you
Work with
work
her?
with her?
I mean, it's kind of like how women have lists of how they want their man to be, tall, dark, and handsome, and she comes up with the short guy. Yeah, that's one of those things.
Okay, all right. Understandable.
That's one of those things, you just gotta make some compromises and really figure it out for
That's
yourself.
understandable.
Okay, we got to switch. We got to go to the men's side right quick.
Okay.
Play sports, yeah, of course we play sports.
Always.
Not nurses. Well, are not nurses, but doctors. Not necessarily true, because I know a couple of guys who are taking community college courses and they're going to get their RN's nursing license. Some of them want to pursue to get their doctor degrees, but also there's some who just they like helping with the patients at a nurse level. They don't want all that stress on them as being a doctor, where doctor eventually go off drinking and stuff, and from the stress of working in the hospital. Yeah. As husbands, to tell their wives what to do. To a certain extent, I see you cut that look at me. I see you cut that look at me.
I felt it.
I felt sweat for a little bit. But to a certain extent, like you said, being submissive, as long as the man is following by biblical principles.
Yes.
Yes. So as far as, of course, we would love to have your input as far as like making big decisions about certain areas.
I'll go ahead and tell you now, there's some females that'll cut a man in two just by looking at him. So I know for a fact that that's a myth right there.
All right. This next topic,
Oh my.
it's getting to me. Apparently, it's the top 10 secrets of a male mind.
They ain't got a woman's mind?
That's the thing about it. Apparently, the production team didn't have one for the women.
We
so
talk to y'all. We read the open.
But the
We're
production
open.
team could have had one for equally balanced.
Yeah.
Give and take.
You know who created
I
it?
think
A woman.
I think some.
so.
Well, okay. So we're gonna start off with the
Tell her
top
to
10.
take it from underneath the coffee mug.
Okay.
We're gonna start off with the top 10. Number 10, men can't remember a darn thing. Number 9, men don't listen like women. Number 8, men aren't as empathetic as women. Number 7, men can't help looking at other women. Number 6, men don't always have sex on the brain. Number 5, men love sports. Number 4, men are tough as nails. Number 3, men are too sensitive. Number 2, men like to shop. And the big number 1, men like to talk.
Let them start off on this.
Yeah, we want to hear.
Since we don't get a women's secret, let's see
right.
how they feel about that.
We'll let you know if you're right or not.
Okay.
What I'm confused with, going back to my little first topic, how do we communicate with y'all? Like, what do we do?
It's funny because I think a lot of people think that men don't like to talk. That's not the case. Men like to talk all the time. We like to go out with our boys, and just enjoy our time. And that's when we do a lot of our talking. It's just the way that we talk is on two different sides of the pole. We're more direct about what we talk about. We don't beat around the bush. We don't throw in extra
Details.
Exactly.
So I'll be trying to figure out, what do y'all be talking about? What kind of topics do y'all be
The
discussing?
same thing
Same
that
thing
y'all
talk.
be talking about.
That
It's
can't
like
be so.
it's like the
so.
beauty shop and the barbershop mentality. The beauty shop, that's where y'all sit up on the hair curling irons and talk about the
Y'all
day
there for
and Miss
hours.
Sally Sue and
Y'all there for
how she
hours.
snuck into Mr. Johnson's apartment that night.
So y'all be talking about sneaking in Mrs. Johnson's apartment at night?
We talk about going to
Yeah.
her house watching the game, maybe,
Yeah.
but not as far.
No, Avon face expression said another thing. So, Mr.
That's the other barbershop. He goes to the other barbershop. I go to the one Miss Johnson. She got the pork rinds and the little appetizers and stuff. We watching the game.
But
So
yeah, like I said, we're just more direct about what we talk about. Females, in a way, okay, I think of it more in the sense of you're the sleepy driver on the road. You're driving straight, and then you go off road. You wake up, you come back. You drive off. You wake up and you come back. It's too much going back and forth when we're trying to go straight. And there's a lot of unnecessary things or details that men don't include in their conversation. That's the only difference, honestly.
So
that I
you
feel.
are saying that you will listen to us.
when y'all are driving straight.
When we're driving the street, so if we nagging her.
Now, the moment you making the U-turn to go outside the road, we're gonna be.
Yeah.
But sometimes that might be the way we have to convey to get what we're trying to get across to you, so you understand the pieces. See, you lost. Lost.
We're trying to say we get more in depth.
We
more
get in depth
detail.
with it, so you'll know the ins and out of the situation. So, you know, we can't go from A to D and then from D to Z. We have to go to A, B, C, D. So you'll know.
So to
whole
connect.
line.
I think they should just go A to D. I don't need to know what your coworker's shoes look like.
Yes.
That made you feel bad today.
By us establishing the fact that you're in line for a promotion, we don't need to know Miss Sally Sue had red pumps that day and she was trying to
Exactly.
wink at the boss.
Exactly.
We don't. We just need to know just how you're gonna go about pursuing to get that
But
promotion.
no, check this out. This is what gets y'all in trouble. Y'all say too many details that get y'all in trouble sometimes. How about that?
Would you
about
like to
that?
elaborate some more?
Let's say, oh yeah, there's a nice guy at the job, coworker, and he gave me an eye, and I just went to go talk to him, and then I went on with my day, and I felt good. Now you in trouble.
Flag on the play.
You in trouble.
Well, maybe she wasn't getting it home from the first place.
Oh,
so
okay.
she saw it,
So,
and she's trying to give you a hint.
I think that's a whole nother conversation.
Another flag on the play. We need to come back.
oh, Lord.
Overall, men and women are different, but still we are as one. So, overall, how can we communicate better? These are 3 ideas that came from Sima Lieberman, who's a diversity consultant. The first one is empathize. The key to good communication is the ability to see something from the other person's viewpoint. Number 2, avoid stereotypes. The communication and gender differences between the male and female are not to be used as weapons against each other. Avoid sentences with "you never" or "you always," because that's not true. Number 3, and final one, is give and take. Listen and speak. Don't just offer solutions or cast the conversation away. Really try to hear what the other person is saying. Actively listen so that you can effectively respond. How do you feel about those 3?
I can start off with number 3, give and take. Because a lot of times, y'all talk to us and y'all talk, but y'all don't even take enough time to breathe sometimes. Sometimes we want to interject, sometimes we want to say something, and we never get the opportunity. So, surprise, we're watching TV now.
And that's when empathetic comes in. You should always listen to a woman and you get her, you know, when you show a woman that you're empathetic, it's like she feels like, okay, my man, he's kind of, you know, he listens to me. You know, you don't have to go out and look for it from someone else. So then you wondering, okay, what she's doing, and who's this new guy that come in, like we're going back to that topic. You're saying, oh, this guy kind of recognized her or he winked at her. And she's maybe feeling like, oh, my husband don't give me that kind of attention at home, so hey, just to get his attention, you know, I'm gonna tell him about this guy.
But let me ask you something.
Oh. Ding, 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 ding. Fighters back in your corners. This was a good match. This is late night boxing with, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But, well, this is all the time that we have for this edition of Talking in Translation. We would like to thank our guests, Mr. Avon Banks and Ms. Shonda Hester, for joining us today.
Tune in next time as we continue to discuss the issues between men and women and why they struggle to see eye to eye.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Miranda, and we've been talking in translation.